All right. We are back for Roundtable Rams, episode number 26. Before we get right into our training camp breakdowns like we've been doing, again, please, people, if you like what you hear, like, share, subscribe, do all the things. In the description of this video will be the Roundtable Rams website where we offer more in the form of articles, analysis, breakdowns, things of that nature. There's also like a built-in community that's similar to Twitter where you can like and comment and do all the things. Again, if you're a hate watcher, we'll accept that. That's totally fine. You can like and subscribe and hate that we talk about the Rams. I don't care. Or you can come and talk with us about the Rams. That's fine too. Either way, do all the things, please. It helps us out greatly with exposure and all the social media machine that we all know and maybe not love or love. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to get right into our training camp breakdown, starting with the tight end room for the Los Angeles Rams, which is chock full of pretty much everybody. We have Tyler Higbee, who was kind of contemplating retirement, but decided to come back on a 2-year deal. Colby Parkinson became a huge playmaker in 2025. Terrence Ferguson started showing flashes of brilliance himself. They went and drafted Max Clare, which I still don't understand, and we can talk about that in a moment. And I'm missing somebody on that huge list of tight ends, but
Clemson's own Davis Allen.
There you go. Thank you, Davis Allen. There you go. So, he's also shown flashes of brilliance. He did so in 2025. Obviously, as we know, the Rams used 13 personnel more than any other team in 2025, and it seems they're going to be doing the same thing. Otherwise, they probably would not have drafted Max Clare. Again, I don't understand that one. I don't know why they did so, given that they still need somebody to step up in the wide receiver room. I mean, they did get CJ Daniels, but they could have got a receiver there where they got Claire. I don't know. But yeah, they have a really stacked tight end room. And I guess my biggest question, or rather concern, is how does it all fit together now? Because you went from 2024 to 2025 kind of knowing that Tyler Higbee was the guy. Now in 2025, Colby Parkinson could be the guy. Terrence Ferguson can be the guy too, and you still have Tyler Higbee in the room. So I think, and then again, you have Max Clare, which I want to say that Sean McVay indicated that he was going to get or be really involved in the 2026 offensive plan. Or that's the assumption, rather. Again, I don't really see how it all fits together. I mean, it's a good problem to have. I'll say that. This is not a negative by any means. Like, you have not arguably, I think they have the best tight end room in the entire NFL. They have guys that can block. They have guys that can catch the ball and run. They have pretty much everything. I think this is their deepest group, period, on the team. And yeah, like I said, I just don't know how it all fits together, how everyone's going to get that playing time. Obviously, this is looking towards the future because you have Terrence Ferguson and you have Max Clare now. So once Tyler Higbee retires, you got your guys right there. But still, I just feel like it's a good problem to have. They have a really stacked room, but a too stacked room, if that makes sense.
I mean, I think that's just the Rams in general, isn't it? They just love to have talent to come up behind talent so that they don't have to think about it in the future. They're always operating 2-3 years in the future, which is probably why they are such a successful team. And like you said, I mean, yeah, like Tyler Higbee is 33 years old and will likely retire within the next couple of years. So like they're going to need those guys. And those are the guys that you kind of bring in to learn beneath Tyler Higbee. I don't know about you guys, but I've been also seeing Colby Parkinson mocked in some mock drafts, mock trades over to the Panthers for some reason. I think people are having conversations about that. I think it's more just Panthers fans desperately wanting some help over there.
They're like, hey, Rams, are you looking at this, Rams? Yeah.
It's like, I can't remember who it was. There was like an insider or something that was kind of mocking him over there. But either way, you know, they have the talent behind them to kind of learn over the next season or two. So yeah, good problems all round in every corner of the Rams locker room. There isn't one part, except for maybe the O-line, which, you know, if there is a weak spot to look at, then you can pick at that, the depth-wise, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm sure. Just kind of piggybacking off that a little bit. Like, I'm sure the Rams wish that they had the tight end depth rather there than they wish they had it on the offensive line rather than on the tight end room, really. But like I said, we'll get to that in a minute. Yeah, this tight end room obviously is deep. It's filled with a lot of talent. Filled with a lot of players who could do a lot of different things. Max Clare comes in as a rookie who, yeah, James, I'm kind of with you on there. Like, it was a little bit of a head scratcher. Like, okay, we know you needed a wide receiver. Instead, they got another tight end, and now likely, maybe they'll go into the 2026 season with 5 tight ends, right? And which is a lot. That's probably indicating that they're just gonna lean into that 13 personnel, right? I mean, because it was so successful last year. And what was crazy too is that they did that towards the middle of the season, really, and then it just took off and exploded, and it worked in ways that they probably didn't envision themselves. They were probably, okay, we'll just try this now, and it ended up working. Yeah, I'm really looking at Terrence Ferguson here. I think he's the most talented player in that room. I think he could develop into the tight end 1 probably by the end of the year. Right now, going into the season, it will certainly be Kobe Parkinson. And I think those mock trades has a lot to do with it, because I think the Rams believe that Ferguson will eventually be that guy, and the person with the trade value on that team will be Parkinson. Higbee had a couple injuries already, was contemplating retirement. I think he'll still be solid enough because he's the one that knows Sean McVay's system the most in that room. So he'll be utilized in some way, shape, or form, however his body allows him to. But yeah, I think Ferguson is going to take a huge step up. He only played in 39% of snaps last year. Had 11 receptions as well. I think that number just balloons. I think he has 11 receptions like within the first 2 games. I think this guy's going to be utilized in ways that, I mean, that like McVay hoped like Higbee could have got to early, in years past. Higbee had a couple games like towards the beginning of his tenure. He showed flashes of he had three touchdown games like in like the 2020 year, 2 of those in the 2020 year, but nothing really materialized off of that. I think Ferguson has that potential, not saying that he'll score 3 touchdowns in the game or anything like that, but in terms of the consistency, right? And in terms of him being a force on offense, a target on offense, and maybe they're leaning on Ferguson to be that wide receiver 3, right? Maybe that's why they didn't go after a wide receiver 3. So I think this room is certainly the deepest, and I think Ferguson has the most potential, and I think we're going to see that potential this fall.
Maybe that speaks to the 13 personnel situation of they saw it work, they're just doubling down on that, and they're not addressing the wide receiver situation right now because they have something that just works. Sure. And they just wanted to strengthen it.
Yeah, and no, it's interesting that, whether or not the Panthers fans believe it to be true, and I don't even know if he would even go to the Panthers, but you have to look at that exact situation that Buddy brought up in the sense that he could be on his way out at the trade deadline in November. That could be a situation, especially if Terrence Ferguson emerges, and if they get Max Clare involved and he's what they think he is. There's no reason why they wouldn't, because obviously nobody's going to want to trade for Tyler Higbee. He's old, in the sense of injuries and everything. Again, I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just saying old in football years, people. I cannot do what they do, and I'm older than them. I'm just saying he's old in football years. But that being said, I mean, yeah, there could be a situation where Colby Parkinson's at the height of his value. They send him off for more draft picks because that's what Les Snead does and his front office does. They prepare for the future more than anybody else, in my opinion. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. They said mid-round 2027.
Oh, yeah. And why would you not take that? You get a 3rd rounder for Colby Parkinson? Yeah, I think you take that all day. But this obviously assumes that Terrence Ferguson and Max Clare are where they need them to be, where they think they could be by mid-season, if you will, if it's a trade deadline type of situation. Then, yeah, I could definitely see that happening. But, even more so than the fact that they're going to go 13 personnel, even more so than the wide receiver 3, which is a good point as well. I think they're investing heavily in the tight end room because their O-line depth sucks. Let's just say it, right? It sucks. It's their 5 starters are great, but they're already faced with a similar 2024 situation. Alaric Jackson could be suspended. We've talked about this on the pod. Nobody knows quite what's going on. He's not going to be charged with a felony. They already announced that, but that does not mean that the NFL is not going to come down on him. So you have a situation where the Rams might have to put, Keegan Trost there. They might have to put David Questenberry there. But again, not really the people that you want to put there right from the jump, in my opinion. So Lark Jackson, you got Steve Avila. I forget the center's name. It's not coming to me right now. Come on. Sorry.
Coleman Shelton.
Thank you. Coleman Shelton.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you have Warren McClendon, who emerged and became fantastic on the line. And so, again, I already kind of brought it up, but I think the biggest question here becomes what happens with Jackson? Is he going to get suspended again? Because that's still kind of violating the NFL's personal conduct policy. He already got in trouble in 2024 and he was suspended 2 games. In my opinion, this is not factual. Nobody's corroborated this. Nobody has confirmed this. I think they're probably going to suspend him again. I don't know if they're going to suspend him double, like is it in a way to like make an example of him, or rather you're a repeat offender, so we have to. But I think he could get suspended for like 1 or 2 games. I think that's what's going to happen, just because it's like, dude, what's going on? Regardless, you got arrested, regardless of misdemeanor or not, it doesn't look good. And again, I think especially because he already got in trouble in 2024, already was suspended, I think they have to. You're kind of forcing the NFL's hand. And then, in which case, like I said, then you maybe have Keegan Trost there, but he's a rookie, or David Questenberry, he's a reliable backup, but is he a starter? I don't think so. So, I mean, that's the thing. And then beyond them, you have a room that's kind of not really set up to sustain a big hit like that. Of all their stacking players, of all their making sure they got everybody there, they kind of don't really do that with the offensive line as much. I mean, Kevin Dotson. Who else? We got Justin Dedich, AJ Curry, Austin Blask, Bryce Henderson, Bo Limmer, Dylan McMahon. So, I mean, there's not. These guys need to be on the field together, because that's what makes this offensive line magic. That's what makes them a top 10 unit. And when one piece goes away, it kind of like ruins the whole thing. That's what's going on in my head with it. And again, this all hinges on the fact that is Lark Jackson going to be suspended or not.
Yeah, and if he is, week 1 is a divisional game overseas. That's just not how you want to start your season. You want to put Matthew Stafford in the best possible position to be the best he can possibly be. And yeah, I mean, when they're all there and they're healthy and they're fine, they're good. But then it can catapult kind of, or it can snowball even if Alaric Jackson is out and then someone gets injured, and then it just keeps stacking up and stacking up and stacking up. Like, these are things that they need to address. And considering it's the one thing that they haven't really addressed, I mean, the offense was addressed the most in the draft. Took a quarterback, tight end, offense tackle, wide receiver. I think that they're clearly thinking about it. And I do wonder are they done building? If it is a glaring issue in a training camp, who's not going to want to come over to the Rams and join this team that looks full of superstars? I think that they could easily fill that hole, but they seem to like what they have right now as long as they can keep it. They probably keeping their ears out for any updates on the ban for Alaric Jackson, and then maybe we'll act from there. But yeah, I mean, it's so hard to critique, because it's like, of all the issues that they like don't have, this is one thing that you can kind of pick out. And I don't know if the rest of the team was wasn't so stacked out like this, we wouldn't really be even noticing this. But it's just the one thing that you can kind of pick holes in and be like, you've got everything else sorted, like why not this one thing?
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, James, I think you hit the nail right on the head. The five of them together, and McClendon and Avila, Dodson, Jackson, and Shelton. Those guys are as solid as they come. That's a top 10 unit when healthy. Jackson's out. It's like, ooh, okay, that's not pretty. Jackson, and you have another injury to anyone else. It's like, oh, it's bad. And then it's starting to look like shades of 2022 when they went 5-12, and they literally had to get a guy who was in the police academy to bring in and block for Stafford, and then ultimately Bryce Perkins, and then Baker Mayfield and whatnot. And then in 2024, they started off 1-4, and that wasn't because of lack of talent or anything like that. It was because the offensive line was depleted as well. So the minute that happens, if it happens, the Rams are in huge trouble. But if healthy, They're gonna be a great bunch. Yeah, Jackson's still the question mark, right? I mean, is he gonna start in week one? And if not, is he gonna get suspended? How long will that suspension be? And then I look at a guy possibly like Keegan Trost, right? Could he maybe catapult himself into the offensive line? Can he prove whether Jackson is there from week one or not? Can he prove to be a reliable piece down the line? Because I mean, like I wrote, this isn't like your average rookie. He played 7 college seasons. He's like 25 years old, so he's an older type of rookie. Can he immediately come in and cement himself into the Rams, the line? Can he can he work well with Matthew Stafford? Can he work well with the other lines? I think he's a right guard or something like that. He's definitely a guard. I know that without a doubt. So can he and also too, he's also praised for his versatility. So I mean, I doubt the Rams are going to put him in. If the worst comes to worst with Jackson, he's going to put him in left tackle because that's a huge responsibility there. But can he eventually develop into that down the line? Because even next offseason, the Rams have like six of their free agents are on the offensive line, and 3 of them are starters. So that's that's huge right there. If they lose maybe 1 or 2 of those guys, could Trost come in and fill that hole, right? So, and then also too, you kind of look at a person like Avila. He's going to be a free agent next year. What's the contract extension looking like? Doesn't look like they're going to extend any of their 2023 guys. So, we'll see what happens there. But like reliable players like David Quessenberry obviously got some play. Justin Dedich got some play. Bo Limmer even got some play too. I look at those 3 guys like, all right, if worst comes to worst, you guys go in. But I don't know how it's going to look, if the starting offensive line misses a serious amount of time. These 3 guys come in. I don't know how it'll look. That's really it's a depth, right? That's kind of like their Achilles heel.
Well, 2024. So what was it? Steve Avila. I think it was Steve Avila, Kevin Dotson, Rob Havenstein, and Lark were suspended, and they were all hurt, and they went 1-4 in those games. So like that's where you have to look at. And with Jackson potentially being suspended, that could very well happen again. Because again, if you don't have these 5 guys on the line, it crumbles really quickly. They need to find that depth person. So I'm assuming that they think that could be Keegan Trost that can jump in and then that can play. But again, you're looking at a rookie who has no chemistry with the line, who is coming into a team that's highly disciplined, that is ready to go, ready to win a championship. But is that going to be too much pressure for him? And especially again, like it doesn't matter if you're a first round pick, 4th, whatever. Sometimes rookies need time to develop. So to have to put him in right now, I think would be kind of nuts. And so
week 1, it's a lot to put on someone's shoulders.
It would have to be like someone suffers an injury in training camp, Jackson's out, and then they look at Trost and like, okay, like he did well in training camp, put him in. Right, it would literally have to be like last resort, Hail Mary type of stuff.
And you're looking at their opponents. They got San Francisco, week 1, and then the Giants, Denver, and then Philadelphia. Regardless of what anybody thinks about the Giants, their defensive line is crazy good. And you're Dexter Lawrence, and it's just nuts. Like it's a net.
And a new regime up there.
Exactly, exactly. And they could be coming out with fire. And like I said, they were already a good defensive line to begin with. So it's like you lose Jackson for 1 or 2 of those games. That stings a lot, especially then you have a rookie stepping in, assuming that they put Keegan Trost in and not David Quessenberry. Like Quessenberry, I think, came in when McClendon and Dotson were hurt 1 game. And I think he was the backup for both of those games in 2025, if I remember correctly.
Correct.
Yeah,
that's correct.
So.
No, James, like you said, those first 3 games, if they're out Jackson and then possibly somebody else, right? You have the Niners who I think Nick Bosa is healthy, right? He's healthy now.
He's back.
Right? And he's back. And then week 2, the Giants were a pushover last year. That's not the case anymore. They drafted that kid from Ohio State. They had Brian Burns, right? I mean, that's elite. And then with the Eagles, Jalen Carter right there, right? So I mean, it's tough, especially in that interior. That's literally why the Rams wanted to get like improve on guards, because Jalen Carter killed him in that divisional round game, right?
I was thinking of DJ Reader, not Dexter Lawrence. I forgot Dexter Lawrence left the Giants, but
Yeah, yeah, he did. He did.
DJ Reader is who
Yeah,
I
yeah,
meant
but still though, yeah. Like
Regardless.
the Giants are, yeah, the Giants are formidable right there, right? On paper they look good, and I think obviously with Billy's boy there now, right? I mean, it's gonna be, it's gonna be trouble there.
He's running a tight ship up in New York, tell you that.
Is that's your boy?
John Harbaugh.
Hey, that's my Super Bowl winning head coach right there.
Yeah,
All right,
Leave it out. Have some respect.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of worries there on the offensive line, but I guess you could say like the good outweighs the bad. You know what I mean? Like I think the Rams collectively, like if they have one weakness, the other portions of their team are going to step up in a big way. And one of those is the defensive line, which I don't even know if we even have to talk about them, but let's just talk about them. Like,
Fun.
Yeah, why not? Why not? It's you got Braden Fisk, you got Poona Ford, you got Kobe Turner, you got Myles Garrett now. Potentially, you got Aaron Donald coming back, which all signs are pointing to the man coming back. From everybody, Adam Schefter, freaking, he's been on the field. TMZ was there. Like
Ian
Rappaport, like everybody. Albert Breer this morning just said it's happening. Like everybody seems to be clued into the idea of it happening, but I think the biggest thing stopping it is, from what I heard, that he wants to be able to play the full season. He will not come back and play half games or half snaps. He wants to be exactly where he was when he retired. Can he be that? Sure. But that poses a bigger question for me, that it's a big worry, is if that does happen, if he does come back for all 17 games and he wants to go back to where he was, who's losing playing time? Who's going to be okay with losing playing time? Because someone's going to lose playing time. And they have a core of young guys that I just mentioned, Braden Fisk, Poona Ford, Kobe Turner, I don't know, like Omar Spates and Nate Landman are the linebackers, but maybe that changes the scheme and one of them lose playing time. I don't know what's going to happen, but you get Aaron Donald coming back, there's no way in hell you're not going to put him out on the field as much as you humanly possibly can. Again, this is all speculation. Nobody knows for sure. Like, he may very well come back out of retirement and be like, hell no, I want to play half the season. We don't even know. We don't know. We can't. We're just assuming that's what's going to go on. But everybody is saying that that's the case. He was at the practice facility. He's pushing himself to see if he can really do what he did before. Otherwise, what is the point of coming back? That part I believe fully. And it makes sense for somebody like Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald is not going to want to come back and be half-assed about what he's doing on the football field. No. If he's coming back to help the Rams win a Super Bowl, and he needs to be 100% at the level he was at when he retired, which it's Aaron Donald. If anybody's seen his freak workout videos, of course he's going to be somewhat similar. I mean, that guy is insane when he does workouts. So I don't know. That's the big question right now. But again, like, this defensive line is insanely talented. It was talented before Myles Garrett got there. It was talented. It's still talented, even if Aaron Donald does or does not come back. Obviously, losing Jared Verse is a big bummer. I understand, obviously, that they needed to trade him to get Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett's Myles Garrett. But as I've said on this pod, and as I've said in my articles, and I will continue to say, he could be Myles Garrett down the line. But he's just not Myles Garrett right now, which I get. So, anyway, regardless of that, defensive line is insanely stacked. Again, other than tight end, this is like the most insanely crazy stacked unit on the Rams. That's just like, you look anywhere, even you look at the backups, like Josiah Stewart, Laurel Murchison, Tyler Davis. Like they got guys that can just come in and play too. So that's my spiel.
My question is who's preseason Hard Knocks this year? Because if Aaron Donald does come back, that's one heck of a show.
They're gonna be Hard Knocks preseason. They're gonna be in season. They're gonna even do a postseason.
Yeah, they're like, let's follow this all the way through, because like the drama from draft night up until now, the Rams have got it going on. I would love to be behind those walls, seeing, because they don't let anything out. I would like to know what's going on. Yeah. But my point is if it was like with Aaron Donald coming back, then these younger guys may even get fired up even more. Like, they're like, no, I'm not losing playing time in this legendary Super Bowl run with this incredible team. Like, I want to see that. I want to see that dynamic. And I think, being captured on Hard Knocks, if you're listening, HBO, sounds like a really great team to be following. I don't know if they have announced it, who's going to be it this year, but
I mean,
if they haven't, for your consideration.
I would say in season. Okay, if Aaron Donald comes back, maybe not. Do the training camp one, but if they're gonna do what they did with the divisions, then you do the NFC West for in season.
Just anyway, regardless.
Yeah,
that is definitely the funnest thing to have a look
because
at. Because
then you're literally it's gonna be the Seahawks 49ers versus Rams. Like it's gonna be that the whole season.
The Cardinals are just trailing along out there.
I'm sorry, Cardinals fans, if you hate watching this. Look, man, you know who you are. Like, let's just get it out there. Like, you guys are a few years away from competing. Come on, Jacoby Brissett.
It's like the younger brother that's like looking up at and like, one day I'll get to play with them.
Look, there's got to be a wild card in there somewhere. That's going to be the Cardinals, but I mean, really, it's going to be the 49ers, Seahawks, and the Rams going at it.
Yeah.
And there's just a tumbleweed through Arizona.
Actually.
Yeah, well, my point is, I am the most excited, even more than anything else this season, just to see the Rams defense. If it really is what it is being touted to be, if this team is going to be what it is being said to be, like I'm so excited to see them this year. I'm excited to see that I'm excited to see that defense. I hope it's a wall, just like Seattle's defense was last year. And if so, like those Seahawks Rams games are going to be some of the best this season. And we anticipate we're going to see at least 3 of those this year. So I can't wait for this. And that's literally my biggest note when I was like going through this and thinking about, what we were going to be talking about. I was like, I just want to see it. So many stars, so many things to look at. Obviously, the secondary is even shinier in some senses than the D-line. And how can it be? So, can they maintain that and improve upon what they did last season? If they can, I think that it's going to be a tough ride between the Rams and Seahawks this year.
Yeah, there are high expectations for this defensive line, and I think they're going to meet those expectations. One of the mistakes that I made was doubting Ashula, and that's Chris Shula. When he was promoted by the Rams, I was like, okay, I mean, obviously part of the promotion was because of his last name. And I was like, is this really going to work out and whatnot? I think he's done a phenomenal job in his first 2 years. And I think now he has like as good of a defensive line as anybody could ask for, right? I mean, like you said, James, before the trade, it was really good because you had Verse who was coming up. You had his old buddy in Braden Fisk. Kobe Turner has developed himself into one of the best interior defensive linemen as well. Byron Young, Josiah Stewart's coming up. And then all of a sudden you trade for Myles Garrett and it's like, okay, what the heck is going on here? I think Shula's going to put this defensive line in just such a great position. Obviously just that, I mean, like the addition of Garrett alone, right? It's like how do the Rams do this? It's literally that Breaking Bad Jesse meme where like, he can't keep getting away with this, right? Like, it's insane. This team just pulls off trades like no other. And I mean, talk about like if Aaron Donald does come back, who is going to lose their spot? I don't think it's Kobe Turner. Kobe Turner is phenomenal, and I think he's going to have another great year. That's ultimately going to lead him to a lucrative contract. The odd man out, and also Poona Ford. Poona Ford is just great at just run stopping defense. This guy's just a tank, and then Byron Young comes off the edge. I think Yeah, I was gonna say the odd man out is probably Fisk, right? Because he was the Aaron Donald replacement in a way. When they drafted him in 2024, they first got Verse on the edge, and then they got Fisk, who's in the interior. So that might be the odd man out, right? I mean, there are a couple experts that like, okay, maybe that said that, all right, maybe Aaron comes out for 8, he plays 8 games, he plays maybe 10 games or whatnot. If that is the case, then obviously Fisk will like fill in that role in those other 8 or 9 games or whatever. But yeah, if like Donald comes back, it's probably Fisk who's an odd man out, which is a great secondary tackle to have, really, because I think he's developed into a really good. It was crazy. Like Fisk is really phenomenal, and the play that really stands out to me is at week 1 against Houston Texans when Nate Landman punched the ball out. I don't know if you guys paid attention to that fumble recovery. He literally, it's crazy. He's landing on top of it and he's grabbing it with his left hand and he just grabs it like that. It was like an insanely athletic play. So this guy, like he's a tank, but at the same time, he's really athletic. He's really light on his feet. So, yeah, like this defensive line, yeah, just really the biggest question to me is like, is Donald going to come back? And like, does he feel right and whatnot? His wife Erica's over here still kind of teasing. I 100% believe she does not want Aaron to come back, but like he got some sort of itch once the Garrett trade was announced. I don't think she's gonna be a really happy camper, but the Rams fans and the Rams organization will certainly be happy if Donald comes back in any way, shape, or form, really.
Yeah, and I mean it's similar to 2021 when they went and got Jalen Ramsey, they went and got Von Miller, and then the Super Bowl was played in LA. It's really similar to this to now to 2026 where it's going to be in SoFi Stadium and you have all the players there. You got Trent McDuffie, Jalen Watson, you brought in Myles Garrett, which was insane, and now Aaron Donald's like, he's probably like, babe, look, one more year. That's all I got.
She's like, it's always one more year.
I mean, he did step away. He retired. He was content with it, but then he bring Myles Garrett in, and that just draws up a whole different other thing. I mean, it's for everybody, not even Rams fans, just football, NFL fans around the world. Who does not want to watch, except for the other NFC West teams, who does not want to watch two Defensive Player of the Years on the same team at the same time, especially Aaron Donald and Myles Garrett, who are the best at their position, pass rushing and all that. It's going to be fireworks if it happens. It's going to be absolutely crazy if it happens. I was discounting it because I was like, there's no way this happens. But now I'm a believer simply because, like, as they say, the stars are aligning for it. And, the Rams continue to do crazy things to win their championships. And I think losing to the Seahawks put a very bad taste in their mouth. And now they're like, all right, we're going to do everything we can to stop them. Not just stop the NFC, but stop them. And that's not to say there's not going to be other NFC teams that could be good. I think the Bears are going to be even better. I think the Eagles are going to still be good. The Packers are going to be good. You still have a lot of great NFC teams. The Niners should be better too. But regardless, they did that. I think a lot of their moves are like, all right, like the Seahawks are the team. And the Seahawks did not change much from 2025 to 2026 either. And so they still have their Super Bowl core right there. And you do everything in your power to stop them, especially Sam Darnold. And you fix the secondary and you get the most elite pass rushers like in the history of the NFL for the most part on the same team. Come on. I mean.
Yeah. Go ahead, Billy.
I was just going to say, as someone who is like, fully, like, I love football for defense. I love games where the scores are like 7-0. Like, I love that. And so for me, this is so thrilling and so exciting. Like, seeing the Seahawks and Rams go up against each other is just going to be so dynamic. And the Niners too, excellent defense. It's just going to be great. And I think that the Rams clocked that last year because, everyone said, of course, like, the reason that running back won the MVP was for a total, complete reason. But the star of that team was the defense. And it just shows that sometimes, like, you don't have to have the rest of the pieces figured out. But if that defense is solid and it's a wall and no one can get past you and no one can score, like, that's all you need. And they've clearly addressed that this offseason and they fixed it up and they filled all those holes. So as a defensive lover, this is just great for me.
Well, the first game between them in the regular season was 21-19, so it was exactly that. It was just defensive back and forth. Yeah, they scored a little bit, but the NFC Championship was then like them just throwing the ball like crazy. Everybody was going nuts, but like that first match was all defensive, and I think obviously exactly like you just said, that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, it's just so exciting. I know people are so excited about, like, because offense first, with these star quarterbacks, these flashy quarterbacks who can do amazing things, and we love that. We love to see that. But like the old school games where it's just like no one's moving, and every 2 minutes it's punt, punt, punt. Like, I just love it. I just get them like with the forced fumbles and the interceptions, like it's going to be great. And I know that we're like less than 2 months away, but like I'm ready for summer to be done and I'm ready for this to begin because I can't wait.
I feel the same way. And yeah, that's just real quick. That's what really makes this Rams teams great because they can't, on paper at least, they could win on multiple ways. They could score 34 points on you, but they could also score like 17 points and hold you to 10, right? Because of that pass rush, because of that secondary. I love Les Snead and Sean McVay are literally sending us a message. They're like, nobody's going to win a Super Bowl on our home turf. No one's going to do that except for us. Not the Chargers. Nobody. Nobody's going to win at SoFi Stadium except us. And they had that attitude in 2021, and they're certainly having that attitude in 2026 as well. So I love this aggressive approach. They need this aggressive approach, especially being in Los Angeles, where there's a lot of distractions. A lot of people, do their own thing, right? I mean, it's not really like known for a big football town or whatnot. If you're not winning, if you're not relevant, people don't care about you, right? So they know that, they understand that, and they're approaching it as such, and that's exactly what they need to do. And yeah, we're only a couple weeks away, so the ball gets rolling, and it's going to be really excited to see how everything plays out.
I'll ask this question. We don't need to get into it because we are like way over time here. But if Aaron Donald comes back, this is a question that we can carry over to the next episode. If Aaron Donald comes back, full season Aaron Donald, not half season, whatever, is this a 17-0 team? Is this a team that can break the Miami Dolphins record of going all the way and winning the Super Bowl undefeated? Think about it. We could talk about it next week. We don't have to talk about it right now because we'll get way too in the weeds.
It's a cliffhanger to get everyone back next week.
Hey, look, there you go. Like, you guys can think about it too. Comment in the, give us comments. Let us know. I will read your comments out loud to see if you believe that's really the case. But 17-0, can the Rams do it if Aaron Donald comes back with the pieces they currently have? Think about it. We'll talk about it. But this has been Roundtable Rams, episode number 26, I think I said it was. And yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. We'll be back next week with more training camp and answer the question of whether or not we believe that this team could be 17-0 with an Aaron Donald comeback. Could very well be Aaron Donald, a news announcement that we're talking about anyway next week. It seems to be getting closer and closer. There's a Rams event next Thursday, and I think that's when they are going to be revealing their new alternate uniforms. It's like a specific like season ticket holder event thing. I don't know. Maybe he shows up there and announces it. We don't know. But if it does happen, we'll talk about it next week. And yeah, but thank you guys so much for listening.